And today we're going to take care of our wrists first and foremost, because our wrists are essential in going up to handstand, learning some things. If you're very new to handstand practice, you will definitely learn something. If you have any questions at any point in time, please ask in the chat. Let me quickly hear to the music. So, no, to the water, I mean. Okay, it's good. Let's go, let's start. So come to a wonderful sit. Make sure you're sitting up on something. Either a pillow, some books. And from there, deepen your breath. Leave your arms be wherever they are, wherever they feel comfortable. And arriving today on your mat. Letting go of everything that has been going on throughout your day. So far, just coming on your mat. Taking deep inhale into your belly, into your chest. Also, you can also try to breathe in constantly and breathing in constant, breathing out constant. Your belly into your chest. Try to get long from your hips to your head. And as you're exhaling, same thing there. Feeling how your feet are connected to the floor. Your legs are connected to the floor. If you're sitting in a chair, that's completely fine. Feel how your feet are connected to the floor. Getting long from your feet up to your head. And from here, shake your wrists out a bit. Your elbows, your shoulders. Knowing that we're going to be going towards handstand. Not that we will arrive there today, but we're going towards it. Right? So lean a little bit to the right and to the left. Completely arriving. Doing your rhythm. You can also reach your left. Go with your breath. Taking deep inhale in. To the left. As we're exhaling, change to side and inhale in again. And from here, let's twist again. Bring your left hand to your right thigh. Bring the other hand behind you. Look over your shoulders. Gauge your belly. Feel that we're not pulling at your front hand, but make sure you're engaging your belly. Looking over your right shoulder and then change around. Other side. Seeing how your body feels, and as you're breathing in, so do it in your time again. When you're at one side, as you're breathing in, feel how you're getting longer from your hips to your head. If you need to change your sitting position, if you need to get some additional books or get an additional pillow, do that. Breathing in deep so you can sit upright. Get more upright. Feel the length. As you're exhaling, twist a little bit more. Feel how you're engaging your belly. And then release. And come back into the middle. Bring your hands together. Smile a little if you like. And circle your wrists. Check out how your wrists are feeling. Already like sitting a while like that. I'm sitting a little taller already. So it's cutting my head a little bit. So probably I need to zoom out a bit. But it's all good. Circling your wrist. Release. Check your wrists out, your elbows, your shoulders. And from here also circle with your belly a little bit. With your whole body. To the front, to the right, to the left. Just coming into your body, feeling your body. Observing what's happening as you're doing that. Does your back bend? You can also think about cat-cow here as we're doing that. And also do the other side here. Change the side. If you know cat-cow, you can think about that. If you don't know, don't worry. We're going to look over that in a bit. In a moment. Good job. Release. And let's come into all fours. Good. Bring your shoulders over your wrists, hips over the knees. Start to arch up from your lower spine upward. And then chin to chest, rounding down, breathing out. From vertebra by vertebra up. Slowly. And then chin to chest. And down again, breathing out. Good job, everybody. Let's go a few more times. Good job. And come, sit back, bring your knees apart, big toes together. And we're reaching forward, bring your arms apart, shoulders away from your ears. Breathing in deep. And from there, slowly come up again. Bring your hands forward. Push into the mounts of the fingers a lot. Tuck your toes under and shift your hips up into the sky. From there, we're in downward facing dog. Hips up into the sky. Walk in this downward facing dog. If it's too intensive for you, you can bring your shoulders a little bit forward. Come more into a plank position. And walk there. Otherwise, you can really feel the length you're creating from your hands to your hips. Pushing into the mounts of the fingers if you know them. Turning your big muscles of the arms inward and up as we're pushing into the mounts of the fingers. So if you only would be pushing into the mounts of the fingers, your arms would be turning kind of like inward and down. Or inward and down, and that would let your shoulders sink to the floor, but we don't want to do that, so we're pushing into the mounts of the fingers, and then we're actively turning your arms inward and up. If that doesn't make sense, please let me know who knew this. So we want to have our chest kind of like a little bit up, and then your lower spine a little bit more in an arched position. Let's just say arched position. Then you can bend your knees as much as you need, finding more space in your lower spine. You can also maybe feel it. I want to be more arched there, Good. Bring your chest up a little bit more. Big shoulders, big wide shoulders, and then release, coming down again. Good job. Bring your knees apart. Toes together. Again, child's pose. Go in your rhythm. If you need to open your belt, if you have a belt, do that, or loosen it a bit. So you can breathe deeper, especially if you're leaning forward with your belt or with whatever you have on. Hands. If it restricts your breathing, it's probably not that great, and especially in this position, usually it restricts the breathing even more. Try to breathe in deep into your belly, into your chest. Yeah. From here, come up again. And first, we're bringing both hands. So, index finger from both hands points to the outside of the mat. Turn both hands and move a little bit left and right. Warming up your wrists a bit more. Index finger points towards each other. And again, move left and right. Does that feel? Index finger point to your knees. Front and back. From there, come back with one hand to normal position. So index finger points forward and then turn your other hand around. So we're coming on the top of our hand. Index finger points to your knee. And then move a little bit forward and back. Forward and back. Don't give all the weight to your hand there. Change around. Index finger points to the outside. Move left and right. Index finger points forward, move front and back. Index finger points to your other hand, move left and right. And change around. Other hand, move front and back. Index finger points to your other hand, move left and right. Finger points forward, front and back. Don't give all the weight there, give some of the weight there. And index finger points to the outside of the mat. Good job, everybody. Come out of it, shake your wrists a bit. From there, you see, I'm a little bit out of the picture. That's okay. We're just rolling with that today. Bring your right hand forward, thumb is pointing up, turn it to the outside, fingers are pointing down. Grab on from below, push out of your shoulders. Feel a stretch in your thumb mount, breathing in deep. As you exhale, slowly release. I think there's a little mosquito inside and it just pinched me. Is it pinched? Bring your left hand up. Thumb is pointing up. Turn it to the outside. Fingers are pointing down. Grab on from below. Push out on your shoulders. Breathing in deep. And release. Shake your wrists. How do your wrists feel? At any point in time, whenever we have downtime, you can grab around your wrists and turn your wrist. So pulling down here and turning your wrists very, very softly. Okay. Release. Whenever you're just listening to me explaining something, you can do that. You can also take care of your wrists in any kind of way that you learned. Exert like this. Good. From here, we're coming a little bit further. Let's stand up together. Let me check also with the time. First, start to warm up a little bit more by just jumping out of your knees. Try to jump out of your knees, just the knees. We're not using the feet right now. Our feet are flat on the ground. Release your shoulders, release your neck. Let your shoulders and your neck jump. Good job. To let your shoulders and the neck really jump by only then using the impulses coming from your knees. Maybe going a little bit faster if you can. Good job, you're doing great. And from there, if you like to intensify, you can jump out of your heels. So together with your heels, feeling how you're lifting your heels. And again, Feel how the heels are reconnecting with the floor, absorbing the hit with your knees. And again, feel where you can release your neck a little bit. From there, if you like to intensify more, you don't need to. Sometimes you create some pain in there. You can start jumping if you like to intensify more. Jumping out of your toes, reconnecting with the toes and the heels to the floor, really feeling how you're reconnecting with the toes and the heels to the floor, stomping the ground. Releasing your shoulders and your neck. Great job. And coming back, shake your legs out, shake your wrists, shake your elbows, everything. Good. From here, let's go somewhere else. Oh, I like this exercise. From a friend from America. Push out of your shoulders, push out to your hands, your fingers. Engage your belly, your chest. Think about you want a box here in your belly and your chest. This is a big box and this box needs to stay the same. Good. And from here we're leaning softly to the right. By keeping the box, right? And our leg lifts automatically off the floor. And then softly to the other side. I haven't been doing that exercise in quite a while, so I wonder how it looks like. Think about your spine going straight from your hips up, so your head is not turning like this as you're doing that, but it's also integrated. Good. Also leaning. Your head is also leaning when you are leaning. Smile a bit, you're doing great. Does that feel? Concentrate on your belly, on your chest. It's not as easy as it looks. Sometimes maybe you lose it, right? If you lose it, of course, come back into it, come back out and then into it. And to relax your leg that is lifted off the ground. Go one more time each side. Good. And now we're going one side. Lean to one side and you can grab around your belly. You can feel what's happening around your belly. Is one side engaged, the other side is not disengaged? How does that feel? The sides of your body. Good. Change around. Other side as well. And again, feel around your side body, your belly. What kind of muscles are engaged, what kind of muscles are working, and then come back down. Good job. Shake that out. Now that we created something firm, we also like to let go of that again. One of my favorite exercises here. We're going right at it. So what we're doing is we want to engage our knees, our thighs. That's exercises called wet towel exercise. Engage your knees, engage your thighs, and your arms by your sides. And then turn to the left and to the right. Move with your belly button to the left and to the right, engaging your knees and your thighs. Keep your hips same place. But we want to move out of our belly button as much as we can. Smashing your wrists into your belly. Looking to the right and to the left. Good job. I just realized that it's quite hot in here. So, and again, keep your knees and your thighs engaged. We don't want to move with the knees and the thighs. Smash your wrists onto your hips, onto your lower belly. Giving your wrists a little bit of a massage, but also giving your hips massage. Good. You can additionally you can look either straight forward or you look left and right as you're doing that. Good job. Go either faster or slower, but really try to release your arms completely and let the whole movement come from the belly button. Good job. Release completely. Woohoo! Releasing, not stopping, feeling maybe the impulses going left and right here. Great. Your wrists slowly realizing that comes to complete stop after some time of like maybe feeling the impulses going left and right. If you didn't feel them, no problem. Maybe, after doing it some time, you will be able to feel it more and more. And sometimes you will feel it quite clearly, and sometimes you just simply don't. That's okay. Good. Let's go into a little bit more the exhausting exercises today, of course. We're going to start with the warm-up, with the prep for handstand. And the first thing that we want to look over again is the index finger mount here. And so we're going back down to all fours right now. Let's go. A little bit closer, of course. If you haven't seen that before, just make sure you look the first time. So we want to push out of the index finger mounts. We want to lift our wrists up, right? And we don't want to make this move, we don't let this movement come from our hips. So we're not doing this. We're not doing this like lifting with our hips. But we're really giving over the weight from our shoulders to our hands, from our upper body to our hands, and then we're pushing up the mounts of the fingers. So it's easier if you're going here, it's easier because you have a little bit less weight, right? But you can start also here. But really be mindful that you're giving the weight over to your hands, to the index finger mounts. We push into the index finger mounts, and we lift, or also into all the other mounts. Pushing up, coming down again. That's what we want to do. We're going to do that for about 20 times, and then we repeat about 3 times. If that's too much, just do 10 times. That's completely fine. Find your right distance. There's also people that go over here or that do them like here. I can't do that, unfortunately, but I'm working on it. So, yeah, find your right distance. And afterwards, I'm going to tell you why we're doing that exactly by giving you another exercise so you can feel it for yourself, why it's important for handstand. So again, come into this position, push up with the mounts of the fingers. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Release. Shake your wrists, shake your elbows, shake your shoulders. And we're going again in a moment. Check in how it feels. If you feel like, there's warmth in your lower arms, then it's correct. There's nothing, then maybe readjust a little bit and try again. Good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Slowly come out of it again. Feel in how it feels on your lower arms. Feel good. Good. Does it feel a little bit warmer there? Amazing. Good. Let's go again. Last time. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And release. Feel how your mounts of how it feels right now. Good. Relax a bit. And right now, I'm going to show you why it's so important for handstand. So we're coming back, or we're going back into downward facing dog right now. So bring your arms forward, place them on your mat, push into the mounts of the fingers. So really push into the mounts of the fingers, claw your fingers a bit. Tuck your toes in. And the right distance for a downward facing dog is like having the shoulders over your wrists and the toes, the heels over the toes. Being kind of like straight, that's the right distance for you. Let me go to the full view and then shift yourself back. So coming into plank position, measuring that distance, that it's approximately correct. Maybe putting your hands a little bit out, if you're a man. Just a little tiny bit. Then again, find a great position, pushing your hips up into the sky. Now what we want to do, again, we are focusing on the mounts of the fingers. So when we're pushing into the mounts of the fingers, it pushes us down. And that's something that we want to focus on. So everybody now bend your knees and start to jump. Just little jumps. Meanwhile, you're pushing into the mounts of the fingers. Pushing into the mounts of the fingers, and this pushes you back down to the floor. Good. And if you can just do some little small jumps, that's already great. We want to focus on the mounts of the fingers. If you can go a little bit higher, you can do that. Good. And then release. When you did some jumps, release. Bring your knees apart, big toes together. We're relaxing in child's pose for a moment. Breathing in deep. Your belly into your chest. Relaxing. Preparing for a second round, and then we're going to other things. So slowly coming up again. When you're ready, push into the mounts of the fingers, spread your fingers, tuck your toes under, come into downward facing dog. From here, bend your knees, and again start to jump and come down. See how it feels the second time as we're doing this the second time. Feels a little bit different. Try to land soft. And if you're just doing little small jumps, that's fine. Really try to feel the control. Also feel the length from your hands to your hips. Feeling how you're pushing into the mounts of the fingers, and this pushes you back down. Great job, everybody. Good. Let's stand up. Stand up in your way. From here, spread your legs a little bit. Coming into horse stance. Just going one time here. So we're having the knees approximately over your heels. Or if you like to go into the deeper variation of like coming up to your toes, then you can shift your knees a little bit differently. If you don't know how, it's okay. We're not going too far, the beginners today. So bring your arms forward and claw your fingers in a lot, making a fist, opening up again. So it's really clawing in. Bring your arms forward. We're just going for 20 seconds here. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13. You can also bring your arms up. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Really push out of your shoulders. 3, 2, 1. Release. Come up again. Good job. So nothing too spectacular today. Shake your wrist, your elbows, your shoulders. Doing great. So, now it's getting a little bit hotter. Bring your arms, come to the front of the mat, and we're bending slowly down. Again, how you can bend down is just hold on your thighs, slowly bend your knees, and bring your hands down onto the floor. This is super hard, especially also for beginners. So if you're new to that, please don't get discouraged. Just try your best. So again, have the mounts of the fingers connected to the floor, your whole hands connected to the floor. And what you want to do is like rock forward and then step back. As soon as you're lifting, as soon as the feet are lifting, you're stepping a little bit back. Good. You can bend your knees as much as you need. Push into the mounts of the fingers a lot. Now that we have warmed up the hands really good, we can put some pressure on the hands. And then after a while, when you found the right rhythm, it gets easier and easier. Good. So we're making our way from the top to the back. If you're new to that, take your time. We wait for everybody here. Wrap around your elbows, move a little bit left and right. Doing great, amazing. Take a deep breath. And if you haven't finished yet, just step back to the mat and join us again. Bring your hands forward. Now we bring the hands about foot width distance away from your feet. So before it was rather close. Now it's foot width distance away from your feet. And then we shift again. We rock again forward, push into the mounts of the fingers, and we're stepping forward. Just lifting off the toes and step forward. So this is a little bit easier, in my opinion at least. So try that. And try to make it controlled. So it's not really a jumping motion, but it's a controlled motion. Good. Whenever you're at the front again, hang a little bit. Forward fold. If you know any variation, please feel free to do them. Nod your head a bit. If you have your hands overhead, try to release them, relax them. Let gravity do its thing. And then release your hands back. Bring them to your hips, elbows pointing upward. Bend your knees more, and stand up with a straight back. Bring your arms up, slight back bend, engage your belly. And release. Good job. How does that feel for you? It's very hot here today, so that's why I'm breathing that much. I'm really sweaty. Shake your legs out, shake your wrists, shake your elbows. And from here, keep on standing. I'm going to my knees to show it to you. Bring your arms up. You're pushing out of your wrists, drawing the fingers back down towards you. Pushing up, pushing up, pushing up. Feel the length. Drawing the fingers as much down as you can. Maybe even spreading your fingers a bit. Smiling. Take a deep inhale. And release. Good. Change it around. Bring your arms forward. Push out of your wrists. Drawing your fingers back as much as you can. Push out of your shoulders as much as you can. And release completely. Shake your wrists out. Shake your elbows. Good job. Good job. Shake your legs. Next little exercise coming up. Quite some time left. It's okay. Still about 20 minutes-ish. So next exercise, we bring the legs to the short end of the mat. Boop, boop. And from there, we slowly hinge at your hips. Hinge at the hips, get long from your hips to your head, and see how far you can go down. Good. From there, we don't want to round our back necessarily, so you can feel with one arm on your lower back if the lower vertebrae are pushing out. If the lower vertebrae are pushing out, you can feel it. Good. And this means you're rounding your back. And there we go, deeper, 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 as far as you can. As soon as you think like, oh yeah, now it starts rounding, then round your whole back. And come down to the floor. Like think cat position here. So you're rounding your whole back. It's not like rounding at one point, but it's rounding your whole back. Actively a little bit. Good job. Oh, and then just relax a little bit more and see where you can go, keeping your rounded back. From there, we are doing some jumps. You're jumping in and out. If you have a firm ground, so if you have a ground that is firmer than your yoga mat, use that ground. Bring your hands onto that firm ground so you have really a strong contact. If you like to use your yoga mat, you can also use your yoga mat. As long as it's not like super soft, it's not really a problem. But if it's getting like more and more soft, if you have a super soft yoga mat, use your firm ground. It's just like easier for your wrists. Also in the other exercises that we have done already, it probably would be better to use a firm ground, especially if you have a super soft yoga mat. My mat is quite hard. So from here we're giving all the way to our hands again. And then what we're doing is jumping in and jumping out. And you can go for a round of 10 if you like, or you can just go for a round of 3. It's completely up to you. Go, go, go. Feel your breath. Good. And from there, try to land softly. Slowly come up by going outside again. And bring one hand to your thigh, bend your knees a tiny bit. The other hand. And step up, left, right, left. Good job. Shake your wrists out. Elbows. Oh, how does that feel? And again, at any point, you can give your wrists a little bit of a massage here. A little bit of care. Good. So from here, you're coming further. And basically this is a new exercise here that I haven't done that much. But we have done them sometimes, but not in the preparation for the handstand. But we're adding that right now in. So let's come and lie down on our back. Good. Let me bring you a little bit closer. I'm so sweaty. So, what you like to do here, or what you want to do here, we're lifting up our legs. So we're bringing both our legs up. You can bring them here and up like this. Doesn't really matter. But what matters is that the lower back stays connected with the floor. That's kind of like what we want to focus on. So you can bring your legs up. You can bring your arms, your fingers to test your lower back next to your body. And try to get underneath your body. You don't want to be able to do that. And then slowly lower down and see if you can keep your lower back up. Down. I mean, keep your lower back down to the floor. And you, of course, need to engage a lot of your belly muscles as you're doing this. As you come closer and closer to the floor, see whenever your lower back comes off the floor. And if it happens, so let's see, oh yeah, it happens. Then start at the top again and do one more time this little routine. Good. Let's try it one more time after having had a little break. Again, go. See where it gets harder. And come down completely. Good job, everybody. Wherever you worked on, whatever your height was, know that this is your journey. You're doing great for yourself. Amazing job. Good. Take some deep inhales. Relax a moment. And I'd like to share another little stretch that can be super great for you if you have problems in this kind of like position that we just did. And it's going like this. So we'll bring one leg forward, having the hip over the knee approximately. If you need to put something under your knee, to do that. And what you like to do is like you're tucking your hip under. It's kind of like this movement. Also drawing the belly button in and up. And maybe I'm overdoing it a little bit right now, but maybe you can also see it a bit better, like tucking under. And this will create this stretch from our hip to your knee. If you haven't felt it before, try to tuck it under. Good. And breathe into that stretch. And this will help us as well to get the lower back easier onto the floor. Just see how that feels and release. And also helps us with handstand, of course, as this is a handstand preparation class. And again, the same thing over here. And basically I teach all the things that helped me, right? Or that I'm working on as well. So again, tuck under, drawing the belly button in and up. Feeling the stretch that you're creating from our hips to your knee. If you can. If you don't feel anything, that's just meaning that, hey, most likely you don't need to work there. Good job. If you like to go deeper, you can also bring your hands up and lean to the opposite side of where the knee is down. If the knee is down left, go right. You're leaning just a little tiny bit to the right. Tiny. Don't overdo this, because there's going to be quickly a strong stretch, and we don't want to get into that strong stretch too quick, you know. It's all taking time, giving yourself, your body time to get into these things. Good. So, we're basically slowly coming to the end positions. We've got 3 variations. If you have been here, you know these variations already. So you can do them with me at the same time. If you haven't been here, then please look at them, you know. Figure out what's good for you. Figure out how far you like to take it. You don't need to go to the full handstand, obviously, but there's an option there, so you can progress there rather quickly by following these lessons here, because they have everything involved you need. Of course, there are other great exercises, but we have so much time, right? So, I like to put my mat away. So we can do it on a firm ground. So I'm doing what I preach. Usually I'm just lazy to put my mat away, but I should really do it, so you can follow along as well. What we're doing at first, we're searching for a wall. What I'm using is a door, probably also have a door that you can use, maybe not. Maybe you have some glass door or something you don't really want to use. But maybe you have a wall. If you have a wall, we're bringing the hands to the wall, slowly traveling down with our hands until we are at 90 degrees at the hips. So this is variation 1. This is variation 1, and it's really, you can find out so much in this position about handstand, but just also imagining you're now in handstand. So what you like to do here, or what you want to do, is engage your belly a little bit. From there, you can lift your sight, your eyes up, your head up, so you can look between your wrists, just between your wrists, barely. It's not looking up like this and looking between your wrists, but it's really softly looking up between your wrists. From there, pushing out of your shoulders, push into the mounts of the fingers. Remember your mounts of the fingers, drawing the belly button in and up. Feeling the strength there. Good job. How does that feel? So you can come into this variation. This is variation 1. Again, I give you some more time. I'm doing it one more time. So bring your hands down. On the wall, feel a 90-degree angle at your hips. Look between your wrists. Good job. And slowly come out. Now you can stay in variation 1. If you like to go further, please do it. Feel free to try. Good. So we're sitting on with the back up onto the wall, measuring the distance with one leg. Bring your hands where you measured the distance, the wrists, shoulder width apart, push into the mounts of the fingers and step up on the wall. And we basically inversed variation 1 into this one here. Push into the mounts of the fingers. Try to breathe. Look between your wrists. Push out of your shoulders. And this is a great starting point to practice handstand. So feel free to go into this variation. Basically just turned variation 1 around and came into variation 2. So give you some time here to do that. Whenever you're exhausted, please come out of it. And we're going into variation 3. Variation 3 is like this, that we are, again, feel free to look first and then afterwards do it. Coming into a plank position here. And we slowly lift one leg up. We step up on the wall and then walk in with your hands. Kind of like stepping up on the wall. Now here is important again. Pushing in with the mounts of the fingers. Pushing in with the mounts of the fingers. So you're not falling over. Because this pushes us back down to the wall. And push. Oopsa. Oopsa. Well, this just fell down. Nothing happened, don't worry. But there was a little picture above there, and that just fell between my legs. So I just abandoned quickly. Nothing happened. So make sure there's not a picture above there. So, and of course, if you like to go down again, then slowly walk forward again. Push into the mounts of the fingers as always when we're coming down, and step down. That was an exercise. Good job. That never happened, so I always was like curious. At one point, this thing will fall down, you know? So yeah. I'm all sweaty now. Good. And with that, we're closing our yoga lesson slowly. So get your mat again, if you have a mat. And let's lie down on the mat. Coming into Shavasana slowly, if you have done this last exercise. Good. Let's lie down on our mat. Bring your arms by your sides. Coming into Shavasana. Arriving into Shavasana. Palms are pointing up. Tuck your chin in a bit. And release your head down again. So lift your head up, tuck your chin in, and release your head down again. And just be. Just be. You need to do anything. We'll get you out of this position in just a moment. Just slowly start to deepen your breath. Having your eyes still closed. Start to move your fingers, start to move your toes. Whenever you're ready, draw your knees in towards your belly. Shift yourself to either the left or the right side, coming to lie down on your side body. In the side body position, release all the tension. Softening the skin of the face, releasing all the tension in your tongue, in your neck, in your shoulders, in the arms, in the elbows, in the wrists, in the fingers, in your chest, in your belly, in your hips, in your whole spine, your whole back, in your legs, in your knees, in your ankles, in your heels, in your toes. Breathing in deep, your belly into your chest. And whenever you're ready, lift yourself up by your side, coming into a final sitting position, up by your side. Bring your hands in front of your heart together, having your eyes still closed if that's possible for you, meanwhile you set up. Honoring your yoga practice today. Bow your head in front of your heart. Wishing you a wonderful rest of the day, wonderful time. Namaste. Emptiness inside of me recognizes the emptiness inside of you. Release your arms, opening your eyes, welcome back. Opening your eyes, welcome back. So I hope you enjoyed today. If you liked it, feel free to follow. Subscribe on YouTube. All these lessons are going up to YouTube. So if you like to review them, or like to check out the first lesson ever, feel free to do that. And we see each other very, very soon again. And with that said, this was a little yoga lesson today. Thanks for being here. If you'd like to connect with me more, feel free to message me on Discord. We will see each other a little bit later on Twitch again, because I like to do some things there, do some chores, a little bit behind the scenes things that need some doing, need some editing things, and yeah, that was about it. So we see each other later, about in 1.5 hours, I guess. Maybe a little bit more, maybe a little less. So, take care. See you soon. Bye bye. Have a good one. See you soon. We're not raiding right now because there's barely anybody here, so we are just saying bye bye. Have a good one. See you soon. Bye bye.